And so essentially what we have here is you can see that this was the start of your FTX collapse. We kind of chopped here. We started to break down. You held this low, which short term is a positive, and we've bounced up. The one little, and this is very short-term analysis right now. We'll get into the longer term. What you can see is you're basically just back to this kind of down-sloping trend line. So this is your short-term resistance. Now, if we get rid of that line and we go to a larger time frame, what I've been saying is, all right, so 5 to 6 months out, bottom on Bitcoin.
Hello, welcome to our channel. Today's video, Gareth Soloway, who is the president and chief market strategist at inthemoneystocks.com, and verified crypto investing updates about the current Bitcoin cycle, the impact of FTX collapse on Bitcoin's price, his updated strategy for Bitcoin bear market, and his thoughts on the final flush out in the crypto space. Make sure to stick around to the end of this video where Gareth reveals his #1 advice for Bitcoin holders. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the post notifications. Let's dive right into the video.
Not a whole lot. I mean, everything kind of like you said before we started the interview is different, but at the same time, it's the same. Crypto's still stuck in this bear market, bear winter type thing. We've obviously since Dubai, we've had the FTX collapse, and that's just, earth shattering. But at the same time, I know this sounds weird, but it's almost like something that I wanted to see happen so that I knew that we were getting close to the end of the bear market. And again, it's not like it's tomorrow or next week, but this is the final flush out in crypto that is now starting. So I think that's you always try to look at things on the positive side, at least I do. And I think that's the positive take here is that it's a horrendous situation, but this should be the final flush out of crypto before it bottoms.
The bear market in cryptocurrencies has left observers bewildered, but recent short-term advances in Bitcoin and alternative cryptocurrencies have revived investors' expectations. The value of the most popular cryptocurrencies have been left in shambles as a result of the collapse of FTX, which has caused the entire cryptocurrency market to be in a prolonged downward trend. Bitcoin and Ethereum, two of the most popular cryptocurrencies, have had their values drop by over 20 and 30% respectively so far this month. Despite the fact that short-term gains provided some relief for the market during the winter's bear market, there are not many obvious catalysts for price increases in the near future. Despite this, market analysts continue to speculate about whether or not the bear market is nearing its end. Bitcoin is simple to acquire, but can it also be easily sold? Because of supply, it is collapsing in on itself. Because most tiny speculators viewed it as a buy and hold investment for the long term, its price skyrocketed to an extraordinary level of $69,000 due to the simple fact that publicity drove up demand to an extent that was significantly higher than the supply.
Yeah, so I think it is playing out like I thought. I did have no idea that FTX was going to be the situation that it was. But what you find out is in bear markets, it's essentially the tide goes out, or essentially the money stops, it dries up for all of these cryptos. And you see who's wearing a bathing suit when that tide goes out, right? So, who's being shady, that's revealed, and then who's being legitimate that survives, and they're going to be the ones that thrive in the new bull market. So I think that's the key, is that this happens. I mean, you could go back to 2008, Lehman Brothers. I mean, Lehman made some very poor bets, and it filed for bankruptcy. It was kind of an earth-shattering event back in 2008. The markets took about 6 months from there to bottom, so that kind of gauges me where I'm saying, okay, I think with 5 or 6 months out from the FTX collapse, you likely reach a bottom in crypto. Now, whether that's 12,000 or 9,000, I'm a little shaky on that, but I do think that's the key. And then if we go back to like the .com collapse, interestingly enough, you had Enron and WorldCom, right? And these were two companies that were doing very shady things with their accounting and their books and basically fabricating a lot of stuff very similar to FTX. And when the bear market came there, they couldn't hide it anymore. And really, I mean, heck, you could even go back to Bernie Madoff, right? Bernie Madoff was continually, making his investors think they were just having amazing gains. But when the bear market hit, people started to pull their money out. So he couldn't continue the pyramid scheme, essentially. So I think that's kind of where we are. But again, the positive is I think we're 5 to 6 months out from a good official bottom in crypto.
Bitcoin had little value over than as a wire service like Western Union, which was driven upward by artificially inflated demand in an otherwise illiquid market. When compared to Bitcoin, the value of each services is significantly lower. It has nothing more than a fad speculation, but now that the bubble has burst, the price is falling just as quickly as it was rising. It's now widely acknowledged as a risk on asset that is very speculative. A risk-adverse climate has been created as a result of the bear market and the forthcoming recession. Risky assets fall. Investments that are purely speculative end up becoming worthless. The market has been shaken by the failure of Bitcoin-related businesses. The banks of Bitcoin could experience a crisis if all of the investors demanded the return of their funds. We are accustomed to the fact that if there is a run on any bank in the U.S., the government will step in, put a stop to the run on the bank, and cover any deposits that are lost. Bitcoin does not provide users with that level of security.
I have basically started to accumulate a HODL position on Bitcoin. I put 100K in Bitcoin already in this general vicinity. And what I've decided to do is every 3,000 down, I'll just put another 100K in. And I'm just going to be very robotic about that so that if Bitcoin, let's say Bitcoin only goes to 12,000, at least I have some exposure if it starts to rip higher. If it goes down to 9,000, or let's say, hopefully not, but 6,000, I'll just continue to dollar cost average in. And I think that's the way that I want most investors to think about it, because it's too hard, even for me, to pick an exact bottom. I mean, like, that's like a 1 in a million thing. Like, yes, I called the top at 69,000, but in all fairness, I was calling it at around 65. So I wasn't exactly dead on. But again, that's that same sort of thing that you get close, you might not get exact.
In a post on TradingView, the analyst firm Trading Shot highlighted the fact that BTC experienced the highest weekly volume in more than a year's worth of data 2 weeks ago. The same could apply a reversion to a bullish trend in the market. The analyst made the observation that when viewed on a chart for 1 week, a significant increase in volume has a tendency to be related with trend reveals on the Bitcoin chart. The creation of the bottom of the bear cycle occurred during the rise in trade volume that occurred between November 19, 2018 and May 13, 2019. However, analyst Econometrics noted that BTC might still be affected negatively by negative news under certain tight financial conditions. Bitcoin has only been exposed to challenging economic conditions a couple of times over the course of the previous 13 years. As a result, the analyst anticipates that additional unfavorable news will emerge. Where exactly is the market bottom? It is impossible to make money during the bear's market large bounces. The upbeat news is that you can in fact make money during a bear market by taking advantage of a large price fluctuations. Take a look at how the stock price has been performing as of late. The unfortunate development is that Bitcoin's price continues to fall as it searches for support for the next bear market rebound.
But I would just say this is that we're close to the bottom. Don't get discouraged by these big bearish headlines that come out. That's part of a market that is bottoming. So as you get more bearish sentiment out there, as people freak out more, try to separate yourself from that emotion and look at the facts. Is Bitcoin still a viable investment? Is the thesis still there? The answer is yes. In fact, once we get regulation, I truly believe you will have a ton of big money coming in. So you just now are looking and saying, okay, well, how do I carefully dip my toe in the water as it goes lower where I can withstand prices? Like if you're in at 13,000, can you deal with it being at $9,000 or even 3,000 or 5,000? And so you want to allocate money properly so that you don't get whipped out if it does go lower than we all think. I think that's the key. So it's proper allocation, but the thesis is still there.
The Bitcoin bear market has experienced some bounces recently. Our consensus is that Bitcoin is aiming for a test of support at the level of 14,000. Bitcoin's bear market will experience rebounds in the event that investors corner the market. Tesla begins accepting Bitcoin as payment for automobiles or any other positive narrative. We do not believe that it will take place at this time. So what are your thoughts about Gareth's perspective on Bitcoin bottom and bearish price trend? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.